If you are thinking about building a barndominium in Florida, you are definitely not alone. Whether you're looking outside of Orlando, somewhere along Florida's Gulf Coast, or in one of Florida's beautiful lake communities, I talk to people every single week that are somewhere in that process. And let's be honest, Florida is a pretty great place for a barndo. Some already own land, some are still looking, and plenty of people are just trying to figure out where to start. I'm Megan, also known as the Barndo Chick, and if there is one thing that I have learned in more than 23 years in construction financing, it's this. Most people are not afraid of building a barndo. They're afraid of getting it wrong. Nobody wants to spend money twice. Nobody wants the wrong piece of land, especially when it's a piece of property that they've already fallen in love with. And nobody wants to discover halfway through the process that they should have done things a little differently from the beginning. That is where having the right guide makes all the difference. Yes, I did just point at myself. Because building a barndo is not difficult when you have a plan. The challenge is knowing what steps to take first and what mistakes to avoid. That's what I help people do every single day. So let me ask you a question. If you were building a barndo, where would you start? The land, the builder, maybe the architectural plans? Or would you start with the financing? Believe it or not, that is one of the most common questions I get. And it's also where I see one of the most expensive mistakes that people make. They start in the wrong place. And by the time they figure it out, they've already spent money. And don't panic. Most situations are fixable, but it's a whole lot easier and usually a whole lot cheaper to do things in the right order from the beginning. If you've been spending time online looking at floor plans and dreaming about future plans for your house, it's completely normal, and honestly, that's part of the fun. But before you start spending money on architectural plans, land, engineering, builders, or anything else for that matter, there are a few conversations that should happen first, and that is exactly where I come in. I've built my own 12,000 square foot barndo. I've built my own traditional home, and I've spent enough time developing land, flipping properties, and navigating construction projects to know where people usually get tripped up. When I tell you there's a framework to this process, I'm actually speaking from personal experience. And the good news? You don't have to figure this out by yourself. That's my job. From dirt to done, my team and I help clients understand the process, avoid expensive mistakes, and move forward with confidence. One of the most common calls I get is from somebody who's already found the perfect piece of land. They are excited. They're sending the link. They're sending me pictures. They can already see the house, the shop. They see themselves drinking coffee on the back porch. And I get it. It is exciting. But let me ask you something. Have you ever been so excited about something that you stopped looking for reasons that it might not work? Most of us have. It's human nature. Sometimes that property turns out to be absolutely perfect. And sometimes there are questions that should have been asked before anybody got emotionally invested. That is exactly why I encourage people to have a conversation earlier in the process. Not because I want to slow anybody down, quite the opposite, actually. I want to help you avoid surprises. The perfect property can be an incredible opportunity. The wrong property can be a very expensive lesson. And unfortunately, you can't really tell which one it is from the online listing. Same thing happens with builders. I can't tell you how many times people have called me saying, Megan, found a builder. That's fantastic. And I love the excitement. But before we start planning the housewarming party with the builder, there are a few things that we need to confirm. First, those situations are completely manageable when they're addressed early. And that really is the theme of this entire process. It's not perfection, preparation. A little bit of planning up front can save a tremendous amount of time, money, and stress later. And to be honest, most people don't wake up one morning saying, I know how to build a barndo. They just know that they want one. That's the easy part. Figuring out the smartest path to get there, that's where having the right team makes all the difference. Whether you are still saving photos online, actively looking for land, talking with builders, or sitting there thinking, yeah, I know I want a barndo. I just don't know what the first step is. That is exactly why I'm making this video. My job is to help you understand the process, avoid expensive mistakes, and move forward with confidence. If you are considering building a barndo in Florida, you'll find a link below where you can tell me a little bit about your project, whether you're still in the dreaming stage or if you're ready to get serious about moving forward. I would love to learn more about what you're planning. It only takes a few minutes and it helps me understand what you're hoping to build. And I genuinely cannot wait to see what you have in mind. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe. The Barndominium community is one of the most welcoming groups of people you will ever meet. And to be honest, if you're watching this video, you already know you want a Barndo. I'm Megan, the Barndo Chick, powered by XL Mortgage. I look forward to helping you take your project from dirt to done.